I think I'm live. I think I'm live. Been live, but no one comes. No one watches me. I haven't done very many live streams since I've been doing stuff with Charles. But I thought I had a pretty good topic pretty good topic. You know, with these tariffs that I don't understand. I mean, I think I understand them enough, but I don't think they're good. I don't see how they can be good for anybody, but We'll see. Now the good thing is, I think um, China has 10%, and there's going to be a 10% on stuff coming from China, but not everything comes from China. You got Indonesia, Vietnam, the cheap guitars, but the aren't they talking about like well, they want to stimulate, maybe we can start making more guitars. The thing is, whatever we make, it's going to cost a lot more. It doesn't matter. See, that they don't even address the problem, with the price of things here in the States. I mean, housing, $500,000 houses, for a small house, maybe 3 around here or something like that. And that's the problem. It's just, things are just too much. I mean, that's why there's always a deficit. We're importing more than we're exporting. I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. But I'm going to play this video from Alamo Music. He explains it really good, the tariffs. And, but they're, not just guitar stuff, but the 25% on things come from, what is it? Mexico and China. And I just don't see how it's going to be good for anybody. And gas is going to probably go up things are going to go up. But let me play that. Let me get that play from Alamo Music. They're out of Texas, and it's a music shop, and they got a pretty good YouTube channel. Of course, I don't have too many people in here, but I don't think I'm going to get too many people in here. Hence, why I haven't. I don't do enough with my channel. All right, let me present this. Share screen. We want to do that one right there. The audio is on. And I think you can hear
Music
that.
TV. My name is Chris McKee, here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our Spring Store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, The Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. So let's talk tariffs. Tariffs, if you are unfamiliar with them, and it seems that a lot of people are, they don't understand what tariffs are or exactly how they work, are basically a tax upon things that are imported as they go through customs from one country to another. Tariffs are nothing new. In fact, in the United States, a big portion of the founding of our country dealt with tariff taxes on certain goods coming into our country. We fought an entire Revolutionary War over taxation without proper representation, and a lot of that taxation was in the form of tariffs. In fact, in Boston, they had a big tea party about it, you might have read. So
I'm going to lose my contract for saying this, but we adult film actors have a little secret to add 3 to 4 inches down there. All I do is put a pinch of baking soda under my tongue before shooting.
Tariffs are basically taxes that are implemented on goods that are imported and exported from country to country, and they exist now. In fact, we have pretty big tariffs on Chinese vehicles trying to be imported from China into the United States. That's why you don't see a bunch of Chinese cars driving around. The use of tariffs increases the price of that vehicle to whoever would be importing it. Now, that's an important thing to understand, and I think an aspect of tariffs that a lot of people have not understood. The person that pays the tariff is the person doing the importing of that product, because the tariff takes place on the incoming side of things. So, for instance, if you're in China and you're importing a good from the United States to China, and that's a good that China has placed a tariff on, when it gets to China, the person that's importing it is going to pay that tax, not the person doing the export. And if you know anything about business, what that usually means is that in order to protect their business and their profit margins, they are going to pass that on to the consumer of that product in the form of a price increase. That's basically how it works. So, from a supply side economic standpoint, if we are getting goods from a company like China or Mexico, which have been the companies that have been most talked about, and that good now has a tariff assigned to it, like the cars that currently have it, when it gets imported, the person doing the importing in the United States have to pay a tax on that. And that tax goes to the federal government, who has applied that tariff tax on that import item. And then in order to make sure that they're making their money, they're just going to jack the price up in order to cover that, because a company has to have a profit margin in order to stay in business. So hopefully you understand now kind of how that works. How does that apply to the guitar market? Well, let's take a look at a guitar that we can use as an example and talk about what may or may not happen. Before I talk about the guitar, let's just backtrack a little bit and make sure we define something. I talked about tariffs that are already in place with China on vehicles. So one thing that you need to know right here at the onset is that tariffs can be applied to specific industries or items. It doesn't necessarily mean a tariff is going to be applied across the board. It could be, but it most likely won't be. We can talk about lobbyists in a little bit, but let's just say it's likely that tariffs will be applied if they're applied into specific segments that our federal government wants to protect from U.S. manufacturing. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, which we're going to talk about, that it's not going to have an effect even on American-made goods. So let's use this guitar as an example. This is a Squire. It's a limited edition kind of Jag Telly thing that they came out with. Pretty cool. This guitar is not made in China. It is made in Indonesia. So will it be affected by a Chinese tariff? As a completed item, not necessarily. It's made in Indonesia. If Indonesia doesn't have a tariff for musical instruments applied to it, then on the surface, you would say, okay, then that's probably not affected. But where are the tuning machines made? Where are the bridge components? How about the pickups, the electronics inside? A lot of times, if it's not a US-made electronic component, then that means it's probably a Chinese-made electronic component. So even though the entire guitar is being built in Indonesia, parts that it is being made with are probably coming from China, at least in part. Now, if those are going from China to Indonesia, is there a tariff? Probably not. When it's coming from Indonesia into the United States, would there be a tariff on the finished good? Probably not. Maybe so. But this is where the gray comes into place. A good being made in the United States that on the surface wouldn't be subject to any kind of tariff at all coming in from a foreign country could still be affected depending upon how tariffs are applied. And in some surprising ways, I'll give you an example. Taylor Guitars has a factory in El Cajon, California. Last I checked, that's in the United States. In fact, it's pretty close to San Diego. And about 60 miles away from it in Tecate is their Mexico factory, which Cooper and I got to visit this past September. Amazing factory, cutting edge stuff. They're making fantastic guitars to the same level of excellence that they use in their American factory to build all of their American-made guitars. But you know what else that they're making in their Mexico factory? Their gig bags, their cases, and a lot of parts that are then used to make guitars in the United States. What kind of parts? Well, things like the headstock overlay, things like bracing. If a tariff is applied to those, and I'm not saying one's going to be, I generally think probably if, fair heads prevail in this particular case, that you would see narrow tariffs applied in areas of manufacturing that are the most affected through trade. That's what's likely to happen. But broad generalization, let's say tariffs are applied to everything coming in from Mexico. Taylor Guitars manufacturing something in Mexico for a part in their US guitar, now having a tariff as it crosses the border in order to then manufacture that guitar, may then at that point have a tariff. The same thing can happen with electronics. If a company is a US-based company, but they have things made in China, like you might have an iPhone in your pocket and it says designed in California. Well, I don't care where it was designed. It's made in China. So even though a US company may be the parent of that product, if they're manufacturing it overseas, it's going to get hit with a tariff when it comes in. The goal of that is to encourage manufacturing in the United States of that same product. Now, the reason that that's not done is pretty clear, right? Usually it costs more to manufacture a similar good in the United States because our labor is more expensive, because per capita we get paid more as a society than the people that are in these other countries do. That's why, let's just cut through it, right? That's why companies offshore manufacturing to a company or to a country with a lower per capita pay so that they can pay less on the labor to have an item made. So the idea of a tariff is let's take away that benefit and now let's increase that cost either way in order to try to get manufacturing to be done here in the United States. That's the goal. But the end result means that that previous cheaper good, maybe the iPhone's not a good example of a cheaper good, but usually a previously cheaper good that was imported from China would now be just as expensive as that company making it here in the United States, because again, they're going to increase the price of that in order to cover that tariff cost and pass it on to you, the consumer. So with guitars, there's a lot of raw materials and other parts that are not made in the United States, even if it's an American-made guitar. Martin, years ago, changed some of the things in the guitars that are made in Nazareth, Pennsylvania to reflect that they're made in the United States from materials sourced from around the world. And that's true of just about anything now. So there's a likelihood that as tariffs are applied, you will see the cost of the goods go up. Where this might most likely happen is in goods that are specifically made in China, goods that have outweighed amount of components that are made in China. I think you'd see it in a lot of electronic items. So keyboards, synthesizers, pedals, that kind of a thing. A good example is Fender's amps. They have US-made amps, and then they have Mexico-made amps, and then they have foreign-made amps. The Mexico-made amps usually have components in them that are made in China, even though they're put together in Mexico. So that's going to get hit potentially twice, depending upon how this all works out. But the other thing to know is that we really don't know how it's going to be applied. Tariffs can be opposed broadly, or not opposed. They can be implemented broadly, and they can be implemented narrowly. And this is where lobbyists come into play. So if you don't know, there's a bunch of really highly paid lobbyists in Washington, D.C. that are paid specifically to represent the industries that may be affected by this. And they are going to go speak to congressmen and to those in the administration to try to protect or carve out special niches for certain industries, or to maybe prevent tariffs from happening at all. It's going to be, at the end of the day, quid pro quo.
The number one mistake people with type 2 make is using metformin instead of just eating this.
Musician affected. Well, maybe some of our accessories get more expensive. Maybe some of the electronic items get more expensive. I think if COVID taught manufacturers anything, it was to be flexible in how manufacturing works and to not be reliant on a particular country and to be able to move things around. That's why this is probably made in Indonesia, because manufacturing has improved there, and there's also great manufacturing that happens in Korea. If it got really bad and someone wanted to continue to do some import line on electric guitar, for instance, they could just simply have Cortec make it for them instead of, XYZ company in Beijing or what have you. So that's really the landscape of things. We might just see things getting moved around to other countries rather than being manufactured in the United States still. At the other part of it is maybe things get more vertically integrated and we do see some manufacturing return back to the United States. We already, as guitar players, have an adjustment of pricing based upon where goods are produced. And if that was to completely go away, it would dramatically change the retail landscape for musical instruments as a whole. Not just guitars, but you're talking pianos, band and orchestra instruments, synthesizers, pro audio, everything, live sound, it would all be affected. So it remains to be seen. I don't think at this point we know enough about the plans to accurately guess what's going to happen. It may possibly cost more at the end of the day. It may be a big nothing burger, but hopefully this video has helped you to better understand what may or may not happen with the talk of tariffs and how it may affect your pocketbook as a musician. If you have any feedback or you have any more comments that you would like to add to this that maybe I've missed, please make sure that you do so in the comments. I would ask that, don't get into any big political fights. Tariffs have been around. They've been utilized by every political party in every country for a very, very long time for various reasons. And at the end of the day, for most politicians, it's simply quid pro quo. So scratch my back, I scratch yours. If you don't,
Well, there you have it. Now, I'm not too worried, but just curious what people are thinking. I mean, a lot of people buy cheap guitars because American guitars are expensive. It's just fact. I mean, I have two Gibsons and a American Fender Strat, and out of my 15 guitars, and all my cheap ones don't even total the three American guitars, and they probably don't play as good as the American guitars either. Well, DeLeo James plays good, but yeah, I wanted to do this video. Plus, I'm bored. No football today. No football. It's drive me crazy. But I'm just, everything I read about tariffs. It's not good for the consumer, at least initially, anyway. But I mean, there's no way they can make guitars here and they're going to be affordable, right? It's impossible because of labor costs here. Let me see. Look, we had like 29 people in here. A lot of people I never even heard of. But I'm going to start off to the top. Like what everybody does, we have Guitar Talk in here, Universe, which is Q, Quentin James. And we have Charles 75N was in here. Brian from Searching for Tune. Yeah, I don't think everybody. Epian Royal, if I'm saying that right. Thanks for coming in. Potato. You say potato too. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, here's a new one. I don't know this. Graphite and Cigars. Oh, I do know you. Yep. Thanks for stopping in. But I had way more. I had like 29 people in here, but not everybody's chatting, which is fine. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to affect 10% oil and China stuff. It's really not too much, really. And they're, I'm sure they have a lot of stuff. Amazon still has a lot of Chinese stock, and there's probably plenty of Chinese stock around before they go away. Anyway, but for these these YouTube channels that promote these cheaper guitars, I do the same thing. Every now and then when I do get one, I assume that eventually it will affect the prices, but 10% is not too bad. Let me see here. Yeah, I hear you. Potato. I have how many? I think I have 15 guitars, and 3 real good ones, and the rest are cheap. I mean, maybe I might have one that's $400, but everything's under $400, and some are $100, $120, whatever. But I wanted to try one of those Tees guitars and Fesley. I have not tried those, but I tried to sell I have a Gibson SG. I tried to sell that. I had no luck. I might wait until spring. Hey Joel. Yeah, it's true. That's right. But it's the I think what's the guy's name? Chris Alamo. Now he was in. Now if like Indonesia, if they're getting parts from China, how's that going to affect? I don't, or it may not. I don't know. Don't know how that's going to work. But overall, I just don't like to see this. With Canada getting 25% tariffs. I didn't know that we had an issue with. I don't want to get real political or anything, but I never heard of any big drug problem coming from Canada or illegal aliens. But evidently, I don't know everything. Oh, yeah. I only sell on the marketplace. I used to sell on Craigslist. I haven't done that in years. But I will only do on Facebook. I meet in a like in a strip mall. And I'm pretty good at feeling people. Like you can tell if it's a fake site or something. But Yeah, I've had good. I mean, everything I do, I have sold. They have been on the marketplace, but for some reason, my Gibson SG, I had it up there 2 different times. I think I paid. I'm trying to think, what I paid for it, 14 something. And I think I had it as low as 8 or 9, and nothing at all. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, say it again. Repeat that. What are you talking about? Potato. No country tariffs the products they make. Please, what did I say? What did I say? Are you talking about what I said or the video I was playing? No country tariffs the products they make. Please educate yourself before. I'm not ranting about anything. I just thought it'd be a good discussion to talk about on a boring Sunday afternoon. I see. I don't know. I don't know about that. If it's true, Brian, they sure don't. They don't talk a lot about that on the news. Um, I hear you. I've had my 3 American guitars I had. They didn't play the way I like that at the box. The SG did. I'm sorry, the SG did. But everyone I have to set it up because everybody's different. You want the action closer, but that's not a big deal. It's just, and I've had problems with frets on my American Telecaster. That's I recently got the EVH special, and at Sweetwater, and they have the pictures. You look at the pictures online, and I'm not paying attention. The high E string is like, you could see in the picture, it was not lined up at all. I was going to send that back, but I pushed it. I got it up enough. But then, I switched strings out. I actually upgraded put some of these FU tune parts in there and put the strings back on there. The post came out. They just came out. I'm not, I can do basic stuff, but I wound up taking it to my guy and sent it, which I should have done, and sent it back to Sweetwater, but I didn't. Let me see what's let's I don't know if you're arguing with me, it's fine. If you're arguing with each other, don't argue. Don't be on. Well, blues rocker. You may not be wrong. I mean, well, the internet and Amazon. Look, there's no more malls. I mean, well, at least where I'm at, I'm in Pennsylvania, and there's nothing in them. Um, it and everybody orders online. I mean, I love during the holidays going to malls. You get the 2-story malls, and it's all gone. It's a thing of the past. No, no, you're not wrong. I mean, it's and this is being said. With unskilled laborers, that's going to be a thing of the past. That's all I was. I was an unskilled laborer. I worked for the Dark Container Corporation, Solo Cup Corporation. I worked in warehousing for 46 years. I mean, I did go to to take a class. I was working in the office, but in inventory, but still, but they're going to have robots. They're going to do all manual labor. It's going to be robotics in the future. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to a certain segment of society unless I don't know. Okay. I sorry, Red Light Cigar. I didn't know if you were addressing me or not, but let's just, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Just keep it civil. Yeah. Yeah, I thought, like I said, I'm a football fanatic, and we have that 1 week before the Super Bowl. There is no football unless you want to call the Pro Bowl or whatever. I don't. What they don't really play. Who's the Trump troll? Now I don't want to get into. Well, I guess I get just talking about this, getting into politics. But if you, I'm not saying anything good or bad about him. That's one thing. If you want to make enemies, talk about religion, taxes, and politics, or something like that. If you want to make enemies. Yeah, you're right. It is. You're right, Potato. One way or another. Even when they don't talk about it, it is. An honest man can't run for office. I don't know. Anybody in here, have they ran for political office? They sure are. Now, I'm not talking about what, I'm keeping my stuff to myself, but I am very heavy into politics, but I'm not. My position is, you can disagree with each other, but what they're doing on freaking TV, they want to shoot each other. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. I probably shouldn't have said that. No. No, I did not know that. Well, I didn't expect to get this many people. I had 33 people in here at one time. Wow. That's really good for me. I don't do stuff, I don't monetize. I don't want to monetize. I don't intend to monetize. I couldn't even if I wanted to because no one watches my stuff. But if I started doing weekly, start putting out some videos, but I just have no intentions of monetizing. I do this for fun. And I just thought, like I said, I'm bored. I say, maybe I can get a discussion, but just keep it civil. Well, thank you. I'm a cool dude. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I think my wife thinks that too. Most of the time. When I don't get her mad. Oh, come on, guys. Kiss and make up. I'll have to examine the chat later on. But I just think you can disagree with each other, but why? Just don't turn it into hateful. And I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, I do understand. I see it's on TV every freaking. That's why I don't watch the mainstream media. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. Because I think, well, I know some of the shows I watch on YouTube get way, way, way more views than the local, NBC, CBS, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC. Those shows on YouTube get way more views than those put together. Some of the shows. Yes, I can. Bradley, Levy, or whatever. I agree with that. No, but I think people, if you want to talk about this, and I'll watch some shows I'll look at the comments, and just the way people are just attacking each other, just because you believe in this or I believe in that. I don't know. It just shouldn't be like that. Jerry Springer. I got 34 people here. That's pretty cool. Really good for me. Really good. He passed away. I think he passed away a year or two ago. Jerry Springer. I love dogs too. Oh, Quentin, speaking of that, there's not, I told you I don't want to get another dog at my age. And my wife, she just, she wants to get something small where she can take care of them. She keeps on, on Facebook, she'll see these dogs. See this dog? See that? I don't want to do it because I'll be the one taking care of it. We're just too old at our age. I don't want to get a dog that's going to outlast us. Well, we can get a dog, an elderly dog, but I can't go through that. I had a dream yesterday. I hope I don't. Yesterday before I'm sitting, watching TV on my recliner, and I'm old. I doze off, right? And I woke up, I must have had a dream, and my dog jumped up on my lap, which she used to do a lot. Of course, it was a dream, but I'm thinking, it felt like it was real. I almost lost it right there. Nah, I just can't go through putting any more dogs down or having one die in front of me. No, I can't do that anymore. But I could change. Yeah, I'm 69, and I just don't. I mean, I can look at these videos and can say, I miss. My dog. I had a Maltese. She was a poodle, a Maltese. She was about 25 pounds, 22 pounds. She slept in bed with us, and I still do this. She slept in the middle. I only sleep about 4 hours a night. That's good for me. But I'm, when I wake up, I got to run to the bathroom or whatever. And anyway, I'm laying there, and I'm looking for her. I'm still doing it. She's been going a month and a half now, almost 2 months. And I still feel, and my wife, she'll just start crying. Yeah. But let's not talk about. So we went from talking about the tariffs to your dogs that passed away. What kind of show is that? Let me see. Me? I don't, unless you're talking, I do very little work. No, I won't work on anybody's guitars. I just do basic setups. This one here, I had to follow a couple frets. They weren't high when I got it, but after a while they started going up, and I don't know, I did a good job. It works good. I just watch something on YouTube. Some other people do it a lot and tell me how to do it. I got the tools. And then I had some, a cheap guitar, an ESC or something, an EC10 or whatever, LTD, which is a cheap guitar, but it played good. But it had, when I got it, my hands were all bleeding and everything. I didn't realize they were, and I didn't have tools at the time. I just had took one of my wife's nail files. I got that thing really good, smooth, and everything. Just just using that. It took a while, but since I got some decent tools to do basic setups, following fret ends and whatnot. What I want to do is, I've never done any soldering on guitar, like laptops, but not guitars. And I think I would be good at it as long as I didn't put the house on fire like I did with my cell phone a couple years ago. I had taken the battery out of a cell phone. It blew up on me, and $800 later fixing my carpet and my vinyl floors. Luckily, I didn't burn my house down. I mean, just made them burn my hand. It was terrible. None. I haven't ruined anything. Me personally, I haven't, because it was just nothing really that much. I guess the worst thing was I had to follow a couple. I didn't do a whole fret job. It was just the ones that were high. It was like maybe 2 or 3 frets. I guess that was about the. And it worked out good. It came out good. It was this one here. I was playing it yesterday. Jam. I'm not well. Now, if you played it, if Quentin played it, he's a really good guitar player. You might see something wrong with it. It feels good to me since I did it. I don't know. But it's not, fretting out anymore after I followed it. I just do a little bit at a time, Oh, what's this? Well, it could happen that way, Uncle Swan. I was going to call you Uncle Sam for a minute. Dogpaw, how you doing? Yeah, I had a little discussion in here about the tariffs. I probably shouldn't have. Probably not a good idea, because I'm trying to talk about that without getting political. But how can you talk about it without being political, I guess, right? Yeah, I hear you. It's bad. You see, here's why I don't see how the terrorists don't. I mean, when it's make us start produce. We can't produce more guitars at that price. It's never going to go down. And the reason why things are so cheaper abroad is because they don't pay their slave labor. I mean, I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I had plenty. Like I was saying here earlier, I had just as many problems on my Gibson Fenders as I have on my cheaper guitars. And quite frankly, some of my cheaper guitars I like playing better than my American guitars. I never had a custom guitar. I mean, I have 2 Gibsons and a American Fender Strat, but I never had a custom. I don't think I ever played one. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I had that Mexican one, that white one, and it played good, but I don't think it played as good as my American Strat. But it was good. It was still good. But I got these 2 Leo James Telecaster style and I forgot what the other one was. The one that the ball header sent me. The ball shredder. But he is a ball header. The ball shredder. They play good, and they played good enough where I sold my American Tele, which I had problems with frets on that, and high frets on that. But it didn't sound it. But I got to admit, the American Tele did sound better. Better pickups. About 6 months down, but yeah, that is scary. I know what you're saying, Potato. It is scary. I mean, yeah, me, I'm 69, so I already have a foot. I have a foot in the grave already, so I'm not worrying about it. But it's my kids and grandkids, and you worry about. Yeah, so you got to see what happened. You're going to have to see. Yeah, he had tariffs last time, but I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Anywho, okay, so I've been going on for an hour, and that's unusual because I've got more people in here than I normally would. I had 30 some people in here, 33, 36, which is really good. I guess it was the topic. You know, I hate to get political, you know. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Dolpa. Oh, let me see. Let me see what. Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right. I guess I won't do this topic again. But it's really good discussion. I mean, if you just you make. Thanks, Blues Rocker. Yeah, I didn't mean to make it political where you got people are. I mean, here's my thinking. I said a little. You can disagree with each other, but why does it have to turn into hate? Or, I mean, I don't. My siblings, I won't talk about politics because we can get it. They might think I'm a nut, but I'm not going to. You know, if somebody thinks a certain way, I'm not going to think any worse of you or different. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. Unfortunately, that's how it is that's how the media wants you to. They're viewing it like that, so. Yeah, politics suck, I guess. Not really. I mean, anyway. All right, I want to thank everybody. Look, I got 29 in here right now. I had 36. This is amazing for me. But I need to start doing more stuff. Like I've been doing stuff with Charles. That's going to go on because, quite frankly, I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't like Charles Green. I mean, he's a gentleman's gentleman. I think you all agree. And I'm just glad I was able to help him because he's like, he had a little video of him playing right from years ago. I said, man, I would talk, Hack and I would talk, man, he can really play. And I'm glad that he's able to, and he just loves it so much. And I think, knock on wood, since we've been using Edge, his sound has been really good. I just hope it stays that way. Anyway, so, all right, I'm going to get ready to eat. I think we're having spaghetti. So all the people that came in here, I appreciate it, and the guys that, were, I understand what you're saying. I mean, just, y'all have the rest of the day, Sunday. Have a good week, and just think of spring. Spring is not too far away. So, all right, guys, take care and be safe. Hey, Dale Palmer, thanks for stopping in, and be kind. Be kind. Who used to say that on a radio TV show? Be kind to one another. I don't know. Somebody said that. Anyway, be good, guys. Take care, and good night.